Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Got a ton to talk about in today's video, including 2 free games, and they're pretty high quality games. One of them is over on Steam. Codemasters is celebrating the reboot of Grid by giving away Grid 2, and then over on Origin you can also get The Sims 4, which is awesome. We've also got an update on Steam's user review system. You guys may have noticed that usually while review bombings are of a negative sense with games like Metro, Grand Theft Auto 5 has experienced it in the past whenever some sort of negative criticism comes out, there's also times where you could consider there to be positive review bombing, and that's kind of what we saw with Assassin's Creed Unity when Ubisoft did an incredible gesture by giving that game away for free on Uplay during the Notre Dame tragedy, and it actually got a lot of positive reviews stemming from that. Even though it was a Uplay copy, I guess people just jumped back into the game, and because the visibility of the game increased, user reviews also increased, and there were a lot of positive reviews coming in. Well, Steam talked about that, and there was a post on the Steam blog, so I do want to take a look at that. And then obviously, if you talk about Steam, you gotta contrast it with the Epic Game Store. This information, once again, pretty negative. The Epic Game Store is actually blocking accounts if you buy too many games too quickly, and this is an issue because right now on the Epic Game Store, there is no cart. You have to buy each game separately, and one user actually bought a whopping 5 games. They weren't even that expensive games, and because of that, his account got flagged for being possibly fraudulent. Yikes, we'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, Grid 2 is available right now for free on Steam. It's yours to own, but you only have until tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so pick it up right now. They also did just announce a Grid reboot, so I imagine that's why they're giving the game away. All the DLC is on sale as well, but it's still kind of expensive. The Demolition Derby pack is free, and that's the only free piece of DLC, but if you want all the DLC, that's a whopping $21.77, so that's kind of a bummer. But just get the base game, it's free, and Grid 2 was actually a game I played quite a bit of. If you go back to the early days of my channel, I have a walkthrough for this game. I believe I commentated it as well. It's pretty freaking cringe, but Grid 2 is a pretty fun racing game. Obviously, you want to play this game with a controller. Do not be playing racing games with keyboard and mouse. I don't know how active the multiplayer is, but there are 4,194 people online right now, so hey, that's pretty cool. Get the game for free right now. Typically goes for 30 bucks, but free for yours to own forever on Steam. Also, another free offering. This one's over on Origin. The Sims 4 is available for free. That's awesome as well. Now, obviously, this game is included with Origin Access Basic, but for a lot of you guys, you probably aren't subscribed to that, so now you can get the game for free. If you've never played Sims, you create your own character and you live out the life of a typical human. I know there's a lot of nuances to the game. I know they released a lot of expansions. I'm not a big Sims guy myself, but I know a lot of people that are super into it. And right now you can get Sims 4 for free over on Origin, so check that out as well. These are 2 of the better game offerings in recent memory. A lot of the free game offerings, well, I would say they were pretty good. Guacamelee was an awesome game to get for free. They weren't very notable games, and while I'm not saying that Grid 2 is the best racing game of all time, far from it, considering games like Forza Horizon 4 exist, it is a quality title. It's a game that some people know about, and it's a game that was released at a $50 or $60 price point, so to get it for free, I think that's a nice gesture by Codemasters. And then Sims 4 for free as well. Sims is a game that's pretty easy to get into, even though I'm not a big fan of it. It's very accessible, and you can mess around with it and spend some time over there. The games are relatively easy to run as well. Grid 2 being a game that I believe released back in 2013, and The Sims 4, it's a Sims game, and those games aren't all too difficult to run. So check both of them out. I'll leave links in the description box below. Okay, moving on from that, you guys might know a little bit about review bombing on Steam. It's kind of a shady topic to talk about because some people are against reviews being monitored for review bombing. Otherwise, on the other case, some people are of the notion that, hey, Steam reviews are a way to vent your opinion, and if there are things going on with things like Metro Exodus, Borderlands 3, you should have the right to review bomb a game. And at the end of the day, the review bombing is only filtered out if you have a setting enabled. If you don't have that setting enabled, you still can see all the reviews that are posted, so it can still do some work that way. However, not always is review bombing of a negative sense. With Assassin's Creed Unity, one of the worst PC ports of all time, it actually had a positive review bombing recently, and that's because due to the Notre Dame tragedy, Ubisoft did a great gesture where they gave out the game for free to everyone for a limited amount of time, and you got to keep it forever. That was awesome of them. It was just a really kind thing to do, and I believe they were taking donations to help everybody out and things like that, so that was awesome by Ubisoft. And actually, a lot of people jumped on Assassin's Creed Unity on Steam. Some people even bought the game just on the basis that the visibility for the game increased, and I guess some people just wanted it on Steam even though you have to go through Uplay. But nonetheless, the review score actually increased. I believe it was around 59% with a mixed review. Now it was up to 61%. So that's not a sizable jump, but for that kind of a jump over a short duration of time, that's still notable. And Steam did notice that all of these reviews came in at the same time. They posted a very, very in-depth post. I'm actually very surprised and very pleased with how in-depth Steam went in assessing the situation and providing complete transparency. When thinking about whether it's off topic, we often ask ourselves if the general Steam customer browsing the store would be better served if the review score included the reviews. We don't want players buying games that they don't have fun with because that's not good for any of us in the industry, so we want that review score to be as useful as possible. But with that question in mind, it still doesn't seem like there's a single answer to whether context changes should be reflected in the score. Some context changes are largely divorced from the game itself, such as news about the political convictions of the developer, important to some customers for sure, but unlikely to be something we would feel confident should be included by default for all users. But other context changes can be significant predictors of whether or not you'll be happy with your purchase. For instance, news that the live team of a multiplayer online game has been laid off is a context change that seems useful to have reflected in the review score for prospective buyers. In this case, the Notre Dame tragedy has made it so that Assassin's Creed Unity happens to now include the world's best virtual recreation of the undamaged monument. That's a context change that could be increasing the value players are getting from the game, so perhaps the game really is better than it was before, or maybe that's unrelated, and it's actually players feeling good about Ubisoft's significant donation to rebuilding the monument. Irrespective of the reason, perhaps this is a short-term temporal effect. Should temporal effects even be included in review scores? If a game was heavily focused on a time of the year like Christmas, we'd suspect we'd see it have review score fluctuations around Christmas time as more people bought it and thought it was better on average than people who bought it at other times of the year. They concluded by saying, as a result, we've decided we're just gonna leave it alone, but hopefully this post has helped you understand that thinking behind why we've ended up there. If you have any thoughts on how we should approach the case or similar case in the future, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. So they offered complete transparency, and I only read a little snippet of everything that was posted. They went super in-depth, complete transparency, very happy, and I would love to see Steam and every other platform really assess situations like this. Give us complete transparency and complete understanding of what's going on, why certain decisions are being made, and Steam really offered us that with this post. Now, obviously, Steam in every sense isn't perfect. There's a lot of issues with Steam. The customer support still leaves a lot to be desired, so I'm not acting like Steam is this holy platform that does everything right. But in this specific instance, I'm really happy how they handled the situation and explaining how positive review bombs should be handled. This isn't something we see often. In the case of something positive happening, usually we just accept it as gamers and we don't need to vent about it. That's why the notion of the vocal minority has always existed, because those that are upset about a certain situation are going to be a lot more vocal about it. That's not always a vocal minority. Sometimes it could be the vocal majority, but that's where the sentiment of a vocal minority comes from. In the case of positive review bombing, that's just not something you're going to see often. In the case of positive Steam reviews, usually it's because the game is really good. It's not because of some sort of context change or whatever the case may be. Maybe for AC Unity it happened, but you even see it with that. It was only a slight increase from 59% to 61%. In the case of games like Metro Exodus, you're talking about a game that literally dropped from very positive reception to what? It was a mixed reception. So yeah, that's a little bit more crazy, but you guys get the idea. I think Steam's handling the situation pretty well. And lastly, I do want to quickly cover a hilarious story that Epic Games Store is blocking your account if you buy too many games too quickly as a part of their sale right now. And obviously, whenever a game sale is running, you might be buying multiple games because games are discounted. Unfortunately, in the case of the Epic Games Store, because there is no cart feature, you have to buy each game individually. And in the case of Twitter user Angriest Pat, he noted, so I can confirm that me buying a whopping 5 games ranging from $5 to $50 on the Epic Store flagged my account for possibly fraudulent. Maybe if you guys had an effing shopping cart, Jesus Christ. This was then confirmed by Epic's PR. Nick Chester from Epic PR confirmed that, quote, this was a result of our aggressive fraud rules. If players run into this issue, they should contact player support so we can investigate. This is absolutely crazy. They have a system in place where if you give Epic Games too much money, they will ban your account because the system isn't fleshed out enough. They don't have a cart so you can do one smooth transaction. And to me, this is absolutely hilarious and mind-numbingly stupid. I tried to defend the Epic Mega Sale. I tried to see the good in it, and there is some good in it. I mean, free games every week is nice, but come on, how is this defensible in any way? It's just a shame. Epic Games Store really needs to get its crap together. Maybe they should have taken a year in creating a compelling store service and then acquire all of the exclusives, then just get off the ground running, acquire all of these exclusives and relegate them to a platform that's just not as good. That's bar none the case right now, and it really needs to be remedied ASAP, especially considering all of these huge games that are gonna be Epic Games Store exclusives. I want to play Borderlands 3, I want to play The Outer Worlds, I want to play Control, but if the Epic Games Store persists to be this bad, that's gonna limit the sales of those games by a great degree. And that's gonna conclude this video, guys. Again, Grid 2 and The Sims 4 are free right now. Steam has offered a great insight into how they're gonna handle positive review bombs. And Epic Games Store, if you're planning on buying a lot of games from them, which I imagine a lot of you guys aren't, but they might end up banning your account. Wow, that's pretty crazy. That's gonna conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, leave it in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.